We welcome you to the third annual Hart Media Day for baseball. I'm your host, Hart correspondent Stephen Davis. We are joined right now by Baker University head coach Ryan Goodwin and Caden Pogue. Coach, Caden, how are you guys today?
Doing well, Stephen. Thanks for having us.
Doing good.
Hey, no problem. Coach, how's the off season going? I'm guessing you guys have been getting a lot of work in that indoor facility you guys have.
We have also we got a crazy idea last week to shovel off the infield, so we've been able to get outside some when a lot of teams haven't. So obviously haven't done any full scrimmaging yet, but at least being able to get outside, take ground balls, do stuff like that, it gets you feeling a little bit better, at least as a coach, that you might be semi-prepared, even though you never are on day one.
Show some toughness getting outside in this the Kansas chill, I'm sure. Coach, tell us about the guy sitting next to you there in Caden and how important he is to your Wildcats this year.
Yeah, so Caden Pogue, he was honorable mention all conference last year. I think he got gypped. He should have been better. Should have been at least second team. He was a workhorse for us last year. It's funny, even going like the national convention, I still get talked to about our game against Southeastern last year, where we took them extra innings. Reason why is this guy to my right, because he threw 7 innings, only gave up 1 run, gave us a chance to win that game. When he's on, he's lights out. He's everything I want in a pitcher. He doesn't know he's 5-0, 1-0. He just goes out there, competes, thinks he's Nolan Ryan, and I love that mentality from him. So he's a bulldog.
Caden, now the coach has blown you up. You can tell us how much you've enjoyed this opportunity to continue to play baseball in college for Coach and for Baker.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I started 2 years at a junior college at Hutchinson Community College. And then with COVID, it didn't count. So I'm going on my 5th year of college baseball now. So I'm kind of just soaking it all in, enjoying it while I still can.
Absolutely. Caden, take us through your baseball journey. When did you start playing and really start taking it seriously? And then how'd you end up there in Baldwin City with Baker?
I started playing probably when I was like 3, the youngest I remember. Just played growing up, went to Stillwater High School. Went to junior college for 2 years out of high school, loved every minute of it, and then got lucky enough to come to Baker and hopefully start building something special here. We've seen it the last couple of years, 2 years. We kind of got the taste for what it takes to be a championship team. We were close last year, so we're really hoping to get over that hump this year and keep pushing.
We already talked a little bit about the weather and how you guys have mostly been working indoors. Caden, how nice is it to have that indoor facility to be able to get some work in?
It's awesome. I mean, I still like going outside, even if it's cold, the long toss and stuff, but I don't know. There's something about live ABs indoor that just makes it super fun for everyone involved. So it's really a blessing to have that indoor.
You just laughing because the hitters can't see anything.
That's fine.
Coach, you mentioned you guys have the turf facility outside. You've been able to shovel it off and get out there a little bit. How much has that been nice for the guys to have that all turf playing field now?
It's been a game changer for us. We're going on year 3 now of having it. Just weather issues, the things we can do year round, whether it's throwing tournaments, events, that type of stuff to help us raise money. It's just been a lifesaver in a lot of different ways for us, and definitely has changed the course of our program. It allows us to recruit better guys like Caden typically, and just get that attention from guys that we struggled to recruit in the past.
Coach, you guys had a really solid season last year, 29 wins, 19 of them in the Hart. You get to the semis of the conference tournament. Do you hope to take some momentum from last season and try to get that into 2024 to get rolling right away?
Absolutely. I was actually tied for second in our program history in wins. So we definitely have that 30-win threshold we want to bust through. We know typically if you want to be in discussions and at large nationally, at minimum, you got to get to 30 wins. Usually you got to bust up to the 32, 33, 34 win mark, depending on, what your strength of schedule is. But it's definitely something, you can't go backwards. That team last year, we played a brutally tough schedule all year. To get to 29 wins is really a credit to that group. And we lost a lot of great guys. We actually have 0 guys returning in the starting lineup this year. So we're a brand new team trying to figure stuff out. So, are we trying to springboard off of last year? Yes, we are, but we're really a totally different team. And so it's, early on, it's going to be about this team finding itself. And me being over aggressive as a coach, I may overschedule us a little bit here in February, but It'll be a good task for us to go through that month and hopefully prep us for conference. And, the bulk of this group, we only have right now 2 seniors. The bulk of this group we could conceivably have for the next 2 years. So February is really something where we're hoping we get our feet wet. We see what the highest caliber level of NAI ball is. And then we have really not just 1, but 2 years with this group to really try and produce and get to that level.
Caden, let's learn a little more about you. Where are you from? You mentioned it, touched on it already. And then what's your major there at Baker?
I'm from Stillwater, Oklahoma. Lived there my whole life until I went to college. I graduated in managerial business, and I just started my master's program in January over supply chain management.
Very cool. So what are some goals you have for you and your teammates this season? Coach mentioned a lot of new faces around. What are the goals?
Yeah, I think most of our returning guys are kind of just trying to instill that hard work and like dedication to the grind to the new guys. We have a lot of young guys. I think we brought in 13 freshmen, something like that.
I think it's 20 freshmen.
20 freshmen. So we're kind of just laying the groundwork right now, showing them that they need to show up prepared, ready to attack every day. And then our transfers are going to be really important for us. And I think they just need to understand the culture of Baker and how it's kind of bigger than baseball. You want to be friends with these guys. You want to go hang out with these guys when you're not on the field. So it's kind of just building that family and kind of using that to help us get ready for the season.
Coach, you mentioned the schedule you've got coming in February. You go down to the state of Georgia for the Southeast Rumble to start. What are you hoping to see from your team in those opening games?
Well, we actually open next weekend. It's Kansas Wesleyan, who is 13th in the nation, I believe. So it's not just the Georgia trip. It's between them, Kansas Wesleyan, the Georgia trip. The weekend after we play Missouri Baptist, we have 7 of our first 15 games in February are against teams ranked in the top 20, at least by the NAI ball poll. So it's going to be a really tough test for us. Our job is to go down there and compete the whole month and really find ourselves. It's you never like to think this as a coach. You always want to think we're going to win every game. But truth be told, if we come out this month 500, it'll be awesome for this group, and we'll really springboard to something special.
You mentioned no returning position players. How about on the mound? What do you have pitching wise? How's the staff coming together this year?
Well, we got Caden back. We know he's a workhorse. Then you got Evan Gottstein, who was really our number 4 last year, battled some injuries. We look to have him back. So we feel good about 2 of the spots in the rotation. One transfer, we got Jackson Holzum out of Saracoso Community College. He's got some electric stuff. He'll also be in the lineup, catching some, playing outfield some, maybe DHing some. So we don't know what role we're going to use him in yet. We're thinking probably in February we may use him more as a closer type, and then as everybody gets built up, maybe transition him to a starter when we go to conference play. But then after that, it's a lot of guys that just fall into this pile of guys that it's like, we're going to throw possibly 16, 17 guys when we're in Georgia over those 4 days. And we're just going to get guys' feet wet because we got a lot of guys that will show something one day and then maybe not the next day. And so we got to really see them when the lights are on, so to speak, to be like, hey, here's where we go. I would be remiss if I don't mention Jake Miller. He was very good for us in a middle relief role out of the pen last year. Maybe taking on more of a closing role type this year. But he's very solid, has a great mindset coming out of the bullpen once the ball competes, and he's a guy that everybody rallies behind too.
Caden, you mentioned with the guys coming in, the transfers, the freshmen, trying to build a culture and build a family atmosphere. How is this group coming together? Is it a pretty fun group of guys so far?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think this is probably the most tight-knit we've been in the first 3 months or however long it's been of baseball. I mean, it's just a lot of fun because you get to see different faces from all around the country pretty much. Like we have Florida guys, California, Ohio, all these crazy places. So it's kind of neat to see everyone's different playing style and how it meshes together. But I think it's coming along pretty well.
All right, Caden, we'll wrap things up with you with a fun question. What's your favorite baseball movie of all time?
My dad would probably be very disappointed if I didn't answer Bull Durham. So I'm going to go Bull Durham.
Coach, same question for you.
Oh, that's for me the greatest movie of all time. Forget baseball, all time. That's by far my favorite movie. So
all right, Last question for you then, Coach. With the quality of baseball in the heart, talk about the other coaches in the league and the respect and camaraderie you guys have for each other.
Well, it starts tonight with Ryan Thompson at MNU. You know, they've been to the World Series the past 2 years. I've been fortunate enough to actually, for the NAIA, go work those. And so I got to know him. You know, me and him had a pretty good relationship, but getting to know his guys. I know as a Baker guy, I'm not supposed to say it, but that MNU team, and we had some wars with them last year, and it still hurts. I know me and Caden, because they're the ones that ended our season. And we know maybe that could have been us in the World Series, because we're playing for a berth in our last game to go to the national tournament. But him having the bulk of that team back, they're really nice guys. They are, and they're great baseball players. They're going to represent us well. Nate Braylon, me and him have had some battles in my previous 8 years, and we have a great relationship too. Also, got to hang out with him a lot down at the coaches convention in Dallas. Pretty tight with those guys. I've known Eric Peterson for us both being Lawrence guys at Benny. We go way back. It's still kind of weird for me to have to compete against him, and with him being at Benny, that's I've always liked Pito growing up, but now I can't like him. It's just the way it is. Baker Benny. It's that's how it goes. But I think as a whole, the coaches we have in this conference are some really good baseball guys. We even had guys like Jack Dahm that's coach at the University of Iowa. So going up against a guy like him that's been a Power 5 head coach, it's just the level of coaching I've seen in my time period here is what's really helped elevate this conference. I'd be remiss not throwing in Mike Laird. Mike Laird's been doing it for a long time, had a lot of success. It's always fun to compete against him and his William Penn clubs. And then, we got some new blood a little bit. Doug Brinker going into his second year at Grandview, did some great things with that club last year. So, it's the coaching in this conference has really come up, and it makes it, every weekend a tough challenge as a coach, knowing we're matching wits with somebody that, is right there with us. And, then you got to have the talent, then you got to have the guys playing right on that weekend. So it's a grind in this conference. I think even nationally, everybody's starting to get it. 3 years in a row now, our conference has put a team in the World Series. Hopefully we make it 4 this year. Who's it going to be? Hopefully it's us. I know CMU, I know MNU, Grandview, all 3 of those for sure. They got squads that could get there. So it's going to be a grind every weekend.
Coach Caden, great stuff. Best of luck to the Wildcats this year.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Steven.